Hi, it is Robbie from Southern California. Yes, the one that feeds tens of thousands of birds, many of which are hummingbirds. But I'm going to tell you a little story and then we're going to get into fountains. Why do we have so many birds? Well, I have worked with birds and I know what attracts them. And that's what I'm trying to share with you all. So you can take some of them from me. I don't want them all. Joking aside, if you put out water that they can hear, that is what attracts them because that is what they absolutely need. When they hear water, they know water is life because running water creates plants, which creates insects, which creates seed and food for them. So if there's water that's running and they know that's around there, that triggers something in their brain. They know that this is a place that they can forage, and that is a big part of what attracts them. Now, here's the thing. You know that I started with 1 or 2 hummingbirds around here, and now we have thousands. And now we've brought in other birds, native birds, introduced birds. They're all over the garden. What brings birds in? Water. So today we're going to talk about a phenomenal new fountain I've been working on, though I have had them here before. We're going to work a lot on those now too, because the sound of water is what brings the animals and birds in. And this has got traits to it that are different than the solar fountains, though I love my solar fountains. There's something about this fountain that's a little bit different, to the point that even the other day, I saw another new species of small birds come into our yard that we have not seen here ever before. And that is what's drawing them in. So let's talk about this fountain. I'm going to show you how I'm going to change it up. And you can change yours too if you want, from solar to non-solar. You don't need any electrical outlets or anything, which is wonderful. And by running it, sometimes you even get the creatures of the night come in to visit. That's a hummingbird moth. They fly around at night. But water attracts animals. Let's get into how we can switch them over when we need to, when we don't have that much sun. So you saw me put this video up on this fountain that is not running on solar. So it goes on early in the morning, and without sun, it is running until I turn it off. Now this bowl right now is running on solar. And notice how it kind of burps up and down? That's because it's a cloudy day and it's not consistent. But I'm going to show you how we can change it over, and we could go back and forth and change it back anytime we want. So I took the bowl away from the hummingbird, shame on me, and I'm going to take the solar panel kit off. We don't always have to use it, but it's so easy to change out. You could change it whenever you want. You start having cloudy days, switch it back. We don't need any electricity or any type of power except the sun. So when the sun is not there, we don't have power. Now here's a pump that is not solar and it doesn't need to be plugged into the wall. It is a USB, and all it will need, you'll see in a few moments, is a power bank. It's a very reliable pump, well made, and it doesn't come with any connections, like the solar fountain kit does, but we don't need it. We can use a straw. I've been showing you that. We can just go to any party store, grocery store, and buy jumbo straws. Now, this unit was actually made for dog and cat bowls. So it's a very quiet unit, and it's a gentle unit, but it's strong. And see, it's a USB plug. Don't get the ones that plug in the wall. It will not work. It has to have a USB plug. Now, this one comes with a light, so you can see if the water is running low in your dog bowl. And I happen to like the light. It seems to attract creatures of the night when I leave it on all night. And I'll show you how we're going to fix this up for our birds. Oh my goodness, I am so in love with these. I've already bought 5, and I'm going to set them up all over. You can get a power bank for next to nothing. Most of us already have them because we use them to recharge our phone or tablet or whatever device we need. Now let's get this set up and then we'll go back to the power bank. Now this is the jumbo straw. Now it's probably going to be a little too big for the unit, like it is for the solar fountain units. So what I do is I cut a piece off. Now, watch carefully. I'm going to split the straw all the way up, and now we're going to roll it on the nozzle of this pump. I love this pump because it's got a nice sized nozzle. Some of them don't, and then it gets a little tricky to set up. So we don't have to make it that tall. And I may end up later on trimming it down, but I'm not sure yet. Now you push it down on the piece that you put on there, and it's fairly tight. It's not going to go anywhere. Now, if you wanted to, you can completely omit this and just let the water roll in the bowl. They'll still hear it. Believe you me, birds have really keen hearing. And when it comes to looking for water, when it's really quiet, they can hear. Now, something that some of you don't know is a lot of birds even migrate at night. And what do they need first thing in the morning? Water and food. And that's when they'll come to you. Now, here is the power unit. Now, the one I bought was a 20,000 mAh. You can get them at 10, but I have found that with this particular pump and the 20,000 unit, which costs me under $10, it will actually run for about 4 days, day and night. You don't need to run it at night. But I had a theory, and I decided to run my pump at night. Look at this. You add in the water, and it's going. All you have to do is unplug it, and you could, well, we could leave it outside. I'm going to show you in a minute how we're going to set this up. But look at this. It's going to be constant. You're not going to get it up and down the water, slow and fast, spraying. This is how it is. I mean, after all, this is for your dog or your cat, and I don't think they would appreciate water being squirted in their face. So this particular pump, which is so easy to take apart and clean, just like the solar fountain ones, is made really well, and it's supposed to be strong but gentle. And that has worked perfect for the birds. Now, here's a little trick I'm going to show you on the portable battery unit that we're using, the power unit. I took a pencil box. Now, you can get a pencil box anywhere. I bought the small one you'll see in a second from, it was just a rock that was left from the fountain. That one was from Dollar Tree, and it was $1.25. Or you can get a bigger one from Walmart, which is $1. So you can find plastic pencil boxes anywhere, and you could do it any way you want. You can even use a plastic bag if you don't want to use a pencil box. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a hot soldering iron. Now this pencil box from Dollar Tree is perfect. Look at this. For my unit, it just drops in there. And now we've got to make sure we can plug it in and get the cord out. So that's why I heated up my soldering iron, and I'm going to gently make a notch. Now, I showed you in another video why I like my soldering iron. It's hard to cut plastic. Even drilling it, sometimes they crack. But when you're melting it with a hot soldering iron, they never crack. And you get a really nice, clean slit or hole if you're making holes in a tote or a container. Now, all you have to do is decide where you want the cord to come out, and then gently push it down, and you just need enough for that slim cord to fit through. Now, don't put it on while it's hot. Now, this isn't going to be completely watertight, but let's say it started to rain a little bit, or you were watering and you hit it with water. Your power bank won't get wet because it's going to be inside this unit. Now, you could wrap it in a plastic bag and drop it in there too, and that will be double duty. It will really protect it. Now, you're going to have to do it on the lid as well, because the lid snaps down on this one. But that's all you need to do. It's so simple. I mean, you may have a food container you can use. Maybe you can recycle a container you had from something else in your kitchen. Look around. Anything that your power unit will fit in will be perfect. You can use smaller units. Keep that in mind. If you've got little ones for your cell phones, you just may have to charge it up every day. But this took days, day and night. I let it run. And I even ran a camera and a power unit on that for 3 days. I was surprised. Now, that's all there is to it. See the notch? Now what we have to do is plug it in. I'm just waiting for it to cool, and I want to make sure I'm looking, and I see that I want to make sure there's a nice slit there. I could have made it a little bit smaller so it'd be a little more watertight. But like I said, you can always wrap the unit in a plastic bag. It doesn't get hot. The power banks, when you've got them plugged into your phone or your tablet or even the pump, they never get warm. Now all we have to do is plug it in and make sure that you plug it in the right way. It's not going to go in the wrong way. Set it in there and then put the lid on. Now it's a matter of wherever you want to sit it in your garden. And I made a temporary little hanger right now. I think I'm going to kind of hide it, but this way I can see when the lights are on. This one's got 4 lights, and if it starts to go down, I know I can bring it in at night and charge it. And there it is. I've got it sitting outside now, the bowl that I know that the birds like, but this one came off my deck. So now I've got to introduce it to the bird garden, and they don't know what it is, but you know what? It's water. And there is the power bank just sitting on a piece of wire, but I'm going to fix it up later better. But that's all there is to it. And you know what was a big surprise? It's so beautiful in there, and I didn't have my camera every minute. The very first bird that came to this, it was the next morning, was a bird we've never had in our yard before. Look at this. That is a golden crowned sparrow. We have the white crowns, which are gone right now, but the golden crowns are not supposed to be here either. This bird must have heard the water early in the morning and came to it, because I put it out in the afternoon. I left it run all night. So this way, at the crack of dawn, any birds around would hear the water running and attract them. And it just so happens these birds, they say, migrate in the evening. So he was hungry and thirsty, and he found the fountain. This has been very exciting for us because we have close to 60 species of small birds, and now we just added a new one that we've never had here before. And of course, the spice finches that live here now locally, they found it too. And that hummingbird, don't worry, the hummingbirds already came and checked out the new fountain right away, and they were so excited. But this fountain, the same one, has a straw, but that's okay. He's gonna check it out anyways. He came down and looked at it and thought, I can stand on that straw. I may tweak it and change it around in a few days. We'll see what happens. But that's the whole fun about these fountains. We make them to the birds' liking. So I hope I gave you some tips and ideas on maybe we should be running some fountains 24 hours a day to bring in and entice the birds. With that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. And there's so much more coming.